How's it going, guys? All right, so I'm going to try something new here today. I'm kind of adding this little PowerPoint presentation into our video because, to be honest, we use pretty low budget, knockoff GoPro cameras on our rides, and the footage is usually pretty below average, and it's not that great. And unfortunately, on this ride at Greenbrier State Park, wow, the audio was just god awful. It was so bad that I had to mute the entire video, and the rest of the video is basically a little tour of the park with my son and I riding with basically music in the background. And I hate doing it that way. Like, I love the sound of, riding on the trails and the crunch of the dirt and rocks and all that kind of stuff, but the sound was so awful, it just wasn't an option. And I didn't want to waste the video footage, so I thought I'd add this part to make it a little more interesting, to give a little more detail about the Greenbrier State Park trail system. So anyway, so hopefully in the future we'll upgrade our camera and have better footage, but I might start adding one of these little PowerPoint things to each one of our rides to give a little more info about the trail system we're riding. So this day, all right, so Greenbrier State Park, it's about an hour drive from where we're located in Maryland, in central Maryland. Definitely worth the drive. We came up and parked in this area right here, and that, to be honest with you, at first I thought it was just like a dirt road for like campground vehicles or something to get access to stuff. But when we didn't see any parking, we just took this little dirt road and it went back here, and it was a small circle for gravel parking. And then I saw the trailhead there, and I was like, okay, well, you can only fit about 6 cars back here, but there was no one there that day, so we had plenty of room. So we parked, and we started off on this big red right here. We went into the system this way, which was mostly uphill, a lot of uphill going this way, and then we coasted right on to Big Red here, and there was some downhill in here, so it was kind of back and forth. This one wasn't like, all uphill or all downhill. It was a little even. And we went this way because we actually were really interested in seeing what this Black Diamond Trail was about, Snelling Fire Trail. So once we got down here, we saw the entrance to Snelling Fire Trail, so we took that one, and I gotta be honest, like, it was pretty cool. I don't know if it's one where I'd say I'd have to go back again and ride it again. Like, it was downhill. Going this way was definitely downhill. It started off a little even, and then it started dipping halfway, and you're picking up a lot of speed about here the rest of the way down. They did have some stuff mixed in. I mean, it was, a little rocky here and there, not terrible, but they had, it was a wide trail. It wasn't like a narrow single track, so you probably could ride side by side going down it. They had probably somewhere from like 6 to 8 logs laying across the trail, but it had like dirt like built up over them, so on some of the sides, so you could either try to hop them or drop, ride over the dirt and do a little drop down or do a little jump over them. So that was kind of cool, especially if you're picking up speed and going fast. Rylan, he took it careful around some of those, definitely pinching the brakes a lot of the way down, because it was probably a little steeper than he's used to, but I wouldn't say it seemed like it should necessarily be a Black Diamond Trail, but it was fun. So we made our way down that, and then this is where we made our first mistake, I think. We decided we definitely wanted to get back down here again to Camp Flow, Green Trail, and go up this way. So we actually came off of Snelling and went up Rock Oak Fire Trail, which I guess I didn't do enough research on that trail, but I'll tell you what, that one was definitely uphill all the way, and definitely had some walking sections. There were some areas where we got a break and we were able to ride for a little while, but definitely all uphill, very rocky. And that was probably one of the more tiring parts of the ride. Like, I actually wish we probably would have skipped Snelling and rode down Rock Oak, but we walked up it. And but we got rewarded by the end, because by the time we finally made it up there, you know, when we got down here and we kind of flowed into Camp Flow here, that's when things got a little, we got a little break for a little while. It was fun. I won't say Camp Flow really lived up to its name. I mean, it was flowy, it was fun, it had some sections. Definitely a good area to, you know, give your brakes a break and just flow through it and have a good time. It was great for Rylan. I know he was enjoying it. His arms were definitely sore by the time he made it down to the bottom of Snelling Fire Trail. But so, you know, we made it to the top of Rock Oak, came over to Camp Flow, you know, enjoyed that. And then the cool part about that too is, as you go through there, you actually pass some campsites. So tents were starting to pop up here and there as we were flowing through there, and I thought that was kind of neat. Maybe a good place to go camping sometime. Then we came on to Green, and that was taking you a little bit back uphill for a little while. It wasn't terrible. I mean, definitely, you know, you could definitely make it up there. Excuse me. You could definitely make it up there, you know, pedaling. I took a couple breaks with Rylan because he can only handle so much uphill, but he did good. I was proud of him. I mean, this was definitely a more challenging trail system for an 11-year-old, but we made it up there. And then we connected to Water Tank, which also went back downhill, as well as Sweet Caroline went back downhill. I got to say, Water Tank to Sweet Caroline, best part of the entire trip. That was so fast and flowy, and little rollers and things to jump over. It was a blast. I had a great time there. I mean, my son and I were yelling back and forth to each other. Like, we sounded like we were in Disney World. I mean, I don't know. Like, I would say if you ride Greenbrier, one section to definitely check out is specifically Water Tank to Sweet Caroline. But, you know, if you want to get a little more time in, maybe start at Camp Flow and go to Sweet Caroline. Definitely good times. Well, we came out here from Sweet Caroline, and that's where things got a little confusing, because apparently there was the dam is under construction, and apparently there's a reroute going on. So apparently, I keep saying apparently, a lot of the upper section of Big Red was closed. It was taped off. They were building some new roads in there. So we kind of circled around the lake just to see what things were about, you know, take a look around. And I'd say by the time we got over here, we kind of came down this way. We finally picked up on the sign for the reroute. And that's where things, you know, they were a little tough there too, because the reroute took us straight out this way. And at first I was thinking it was going to, you know, keep going this way, like, and maybe we were going to connect to the top of Rock Oak here and we'd just go back to our car this way. Because we were already, you know, at a solid 7-8 miles at this point. So we were definitely feeling it by that point. But then it started taking us down this way. And I say down, but it actually was straight uphill. So we were coming down, but this was really, really uphill, really rocky. And actually this was one of the more narrow trails. And there was a pretty decent ledge next to you on your right side. You know, if you lost footing and slipped off the side, it was pretty steep on that side. So if you were going down this one, it would be fun, but I would say it would definitely be for more advanced riders. So we went for a while, but it got to the point where, you know, I just didn't think Rylan was going to be able to handle it. I didn't know how much longer it was going to go. And I was definitely starting to feel that it was going to go all the way down, possibly to the bottom here and the bottom of Rock Oak and Snelling. I thought it was going to go all the way down there. So not being sure of that, and seeing, you know, the mood Rylan was starting to turn into, I was like, all right, let's turn around. We'll ride back down this and we'll go back towards Big Red. And you know what? If we have to, we will just, you know, we will slip under the taped off area and take Red back to the car. At this point, it was it wasn't even an option to try to figure out how to go back around or take this, because I was late for work. I was supposed to be at work at 4. I think at this point it was already like pushing 3 o'clock. It's an hour drive each way. So we came in, we rode the rest of Red, which was perfectly normal. A little bit of uphill, a little bit of down. And we made it back to our car over here. So it wasn't too bad, but I wish we could have avoided that confusion. There's a side of me too that's kind of mad that we didn't force ourselves to go all the way down here, because then we actually could have gone around and rode down Rock Oak, which looked really fun to go down. Might have been too much for Rye at this point. Like I said, his arms were killing him that day. He's not used to so much downhill, so he's got strong legs. He plays soccer year round, but his arms were definitely, from all that going down the hills, he was definitely feeling something he's not used to feeling. But to me, that's a good thing. I'm glad he got to experience that. He loved it. So we made it back to the car, and I was about an hour late for work. They didn't care, and it was worth it. Time with my son, got to mountain bike. If you're late because you're spending time with your son and you're mountain biking, then it's totally worth it. So anyway, overall, amazing place to ride. I definitely would, make sure you've put some time in if you're taking your kids there and they have a little more experience before they ride this area, this system. But if they can pound through some hills here and there and some of the rocky stuff, I think it's definitely rewarding enough for them to really enjoy the camp flow through Sweet Caroline section. And then you could stop at the lake afterwards and go swimming. So anyway, I hope that was enough detail, and hopefully I can include this in some of our future videos. And I'm hoping by the end of the year I can upgrade the camera so I can show a little bit better footage of some of the places we ride. All right. Well, anyway, thank you for watching, guys, and hopefully this won't be a complete disaster. We'll see how it turns out. All right.
So we did about 3 miles, and a lot of it was uphill, but the second half of the ride should be more downhill because we need to be rewarded with something.
Yeah. Well, what else big happened today? Did you ride anything for the first time?
Oh yeah, I rode my first black diamond today.
Yeah, you did pretty good, man. Those were a lot of rocks and it was getting pretty steep.
Yeah.
A lot of little logs to go over too, coming down that Snelling Fire Trail at Greenbrier State Park. Pretty fun. Right now we're about to hit a trail. What's this trail called again, Ryan?
Camp Flow.
Camp Flow. So we'll see what that's about. Hopefully it lives up to its name. Okay. All right, let's do this. Just the other